to the public, these are the first words that you hear on our new shitty podcast. Oh, are we safe for work?
Well, you just said shitty, so I don't think so. We probably should try to be,
We should
but
try to be safe for work. Well, this is the
yeah.
alpha, and everybody knows that the alpha is like the worst episode ever. So this is episode alpha of Vanguard Weekly, hosted by not Aichikai, but community guy Roth, and
Matt, I don't have any cool nicknames.
he doesn't have a cool nickname. Yeah, he hasn't gotten to that grade yet. He's been cool. You know what your nickname should be?
What?
Matthew Cuttingham the N.
No, that's terrible. Why would you ever do that?
Because it's funny and easy. Oh, people are like, hey, when does it start? Right now, bro. Okay, so Matt, you have the itinerary of what we're supposed to talk about because I will ramble and I have no.
Alrighty. So what we were talking about first, we are going to be talking about some upcoming tourneys, like major tourneys, sets, and things of that nature. Then next up, we are going to be talking about how players are going to feel about the single elimination matches here in the U.S., since that's the official tournament format.
It is.
And the third thing on the docket is there a meta in the North American Card Fight Vanguard community? And if there is, what do you think it is? Or what is it in your area?
And this is going to be a portion where we're going to end up pulling you guys in to, argue and rip each other apart because that's what we do in Vanguard.
And then the fourth and last thing is going to be general card fight stuff, nothing too serious, and probably some anime series talk about it, about what's going on in the cartoon.
Which, if you haven't seen the side episode, be aware there will be spoilers.
Hella spoilers.
Hella spoilers everywhere. So let's get started. Actually, I should probably check our chat room channel. Matt, you take it away with the upcoming tournaments and stuff.
Alrighty. I actually don't know any of the upcoming tourneys. Like, we have... Well, like, here we have the regionals.
Bullshit.
Well, here we have the regionals. Like, I know about what's going on in our community. Like, we have the regionals coming up. Well, not the regionals. We have the qualifiers for regionals here in Florida, which are going to be, if you are in the Florida area, it's going to be cool stuff. And what's the name of the other place that you go to sometimes that's having them as well?
Gathering place, but they're really bad. I mean, I don't like to throw people in the dirt, but we went there for the promotion for set 5, and it's probably the worst card shop I've ever been in. It made me feel ashamed of playing cards.
Alrighty, so yeah, there you go. There's cool stuff. There's cool stuff games, which there's a location in Orlando and a location in Maitland. And there's also Gathering Place, which is apparently like terrible and the devil, and you should never go there.
You shouldn't. Like, if someone tells you don't go there, just take that advice. Don't bother going there. You won't find anything that you need, and you won't get your money's worth or anything. Like, at the least, the main reason why we ended up going there was because, like, we missed every single other one. And it was like, well, they're on the list too, and we've never been there before. And hearing from, like, person after person, hey, don't go to that place. We didn't listen and went to that place. And first off, they only had eight slots open, and they started ahead of schedule. Second, the place just reeked. You think cool stuff could smell bad on Saturdays? Like, this place smelled horrible.
And let's see, there's also the upcoming Stand Up Challenge Cup in 2013 that's coming pretty soon. That's the regionals, I believe. It's going to be double elimination, one match per round. It's going to be one game, and then each round is going to have a 20-minute time limit. So people who like to stall like me actually have to play the game quickly.
They do. And this is actually going to open up probably a brand new meta for America because of how this is actually going to open up probably a brand new meta for America. And that's what you sound like when you hear yourself sound like stuff.
And there's also going to be the Team League in 2013, and there's going to be shop qualifiers for that. starting in April and going all the way till May 2013.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
You're pulling all this from their website or from their
Yeah,
Facebook?
this is all stuff. All this information I'm pulling right now is coming off the official Bushiroad website.
Okay, so yeah, if you ever need to find any information, and if you're new to Vanguard and you're looking to figure out, hey, where can I go participate in tournaments? Their main website is great.
And
I mean, it's sort of
your
what it
main
is.
website will be cf-vanguard.com/en/battle list/battle_February/US. That
And
has listings for every state in the United States, and there are also links for other countries. If you live over in Asia, you live over in Europe, they have you covered. They
well,
have every. They have, like, for example, Alabama, your locations, you have Visions Cards and Games, Mini War Games, and Legion. Those are the 3 locations where you have officially sanctioned Card Fight Vanguard tourneys available to you. And actually, I will just post this right here in the Card Fight Vanguard community on Google+, and everybody can look to their heart's content.
yes, which is a new community. It's only been up for 2 months, and we're about to hit 60 members. That's like, I think, a member every day. That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Or actually, no, it's March now. Yeah, about a member every day. And we'll be trying to get a few like events going on. I know we were supposed to have a like welcome tournament, and like couldn't get a lot of people together for that. So as soon as we can get a solid date for that, we're going to start it up and add some more prizes to it for the wait. Because you guys have been really loyal. There's been a lot of activity going on in the community, and it makes me have the feels, bro. Check out also. Be sure if you're on Facebook, like nobody isn't on Facebook. Check out the Card Fight Vanguard page on there. They have a lot of a lot of random things, and this is usually recently where they've been dropping a lot of the big reveals. It has been on Facebook over their main website, which I think is actually really weird that they're doing that here in America. Like in Japan, everything drops first on their main website if it doesn't drop out in the in Korokoro or just like leaked. Period. So I find it pretty interesting that stuff here they're dropping it on Facebook. So maybe they do actually understand a little bit about how to advertise to us Americans. What do you think, Matt?
Oh, also, not to go back too much, but in Team League qualifiers, it seems that every player will be receiving a promo Demonic Dragon Breaker Berserker Vasuki. So yeah.
Is it any good?
It's Narukami, grade 3, 10k beater. When your grade 3 Narukami is placed on a Vanguard circle, this unit gets plus 10,000 until end of turn.
Wow.
So if you're trying to beat somebody's face, then yeah.
Wow, that's actually a nice power push right there. A 20 alone, but I mean that's provided you had it out on the turn before. So I guess it works the best with maybe a cross right deck. But would players really be willing to sub out that card for something more consistent? That like the plus 2000s, those generic cards right there.
But I'm not gonna lie though, punching people in the face really hard feels really good in this card game.
It really does. It just like lets out a little bit of animal like aggression.
Which is odd to hear that coming from like
Do you,
me, the guy who plays the clan of little girls, but whatever.
do you think it's going to be playable? Like in general, like, 'cause, I mean, there's a lot of promos that have come out that are just like unplayable in a lot of players' eyes, and it's not without warrant. Like, for example, what was the not the seahorse? The seahorse is godlike. Sorry, giving Grand Blue the ability to pick what they want out of their hand that they can just call back to the field anyways to draw another card. That's a little OP. And it confuses me why a lot of players. But with like cards such as the 9K grade 3 from the first World Tournament that a lot of players just for entering got, basically said, well, I gotta see if I can find it. I'll come back to that later on the show. I actually should find my binder while I'm at it right now.
And do we actually have any of our peeps trying to join the hangout? I know there were a couple of people interested, like and Will and Brandy were both interested.
I don't know. Zach just brought up. Zach's not in the Zach. One of our mods, not in the call right now, or in the show at the moment. But he brought up a good point. Not only will it be playable and ran in decks, but would it be playable the day of the tag team tournament?
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. Like, I couldn't really comment on the playability of that card because I'm not really
Narukami.
an Arakami player, like even a little bit.
We should have probably done like an introduction, like so people will get to know us. Because I mean, I'm not Aichi-kai, although I'm totally seeing that relationship happening soon.
But we totally did just like introduce ourselves. But we could introduce ourselves more thoroughly in what clans we actually play.
Like, let's see. How about this?
You first.
I'll set it up.
Introduce yourself.
I'll set it up. My name is Roth. I'm known as the crazy old man at my local card shops and by a few people that I play with. I believe that 4 null guards is not necessary for a deck, and I also believe that you don't need heal triggers to win.
And what clans do you play?
My favorite clan is Dark Irregulars, but they're so under supported. I'm sad about it. So my next playable supported clan is Great Nature, and I love how complicated and convoluted that they can get for like their like major power spikes that they can pull off, and a lot of their crazy abilities. Like Otter, the Otter is my favorite one, hands down, because he makes Great Nature so broken, and also along with the fact that he can't be retired by their abilities or your opponent's abilities. So when Narukami comes out, I want to play an Otter deck where I just give all the Otters on the front row ridiculous power from the Vanguard, and they can't be destroyed by a lot of Narukami's abilities and Kagero's abilities. Other than that, competitively, you'll more than likely see me run Kagero, and that's when you know that, like, I mean business. I'm not going to lose that day with Kagero.
I see.
There you go, Matt. It's your turn.
Alrighty. Well, I'm Matt. I usually like to play really gimmicky decks. I like building things based on gimmicks, and I'm known for my gimmick and troll tactics. Clans I play, like, I will totally stack a full deck full of crit triggers just for funsies. And
but that's the meta now.
that's the meta. Just all no, not even heal triggers.
No heal triggers.
Who needs to heal? Who needs to heal? Healing's like, if you're healing, you're playing Vanguard wrong, right? Totally right. But no, I play Bermuda Triangle. Oh yeah, and Grand Blue. Wah wah wah. So yeah, I tend to fall in love with clans that get very little support, or like get support briefly and then fade into obscurity, such as my lot in life. But yeah, it's pretty fun.
So
I like the Rev rebuild. It's pretty cool.
Are you keeping track of what we're on now? Because we're like going completely out of order. Check one. Note to self. Whenever we do one of these episodes, let's have out a full list of like what we've gone through and start crossing things out so we don't backtrack.
Yeah. What we've already covered like introductions, and we've already covered upcoming tourneys. So you want to move on to upcoming sets? I know you're more up on the sets than I am, so I'll leave that to you.
Upcoming sets. Let me go ahead and pull it up because I need to get the exact dates. Don't want to be handing out bad information. But it's going to be a big year for us American players. Yes, this whole North American circuit, the whole English format is going to get really crazy because we're experiencing something that is pretty weird for card games. a lot of talk is going around that Vanguard does not have a meta, and it's going to be incapable of making a meta until we are completely.
You're jumping. You're hella jumping.
And I'm not jumping. I am not. You wouldn't even let me finish. And that's what we're going to talk about later on in the show. But geez, I was literally about to say that. I was like, why did you interrupt me? I was on a roll.
Immediate interrupt. Gotta roll my D20 now.
Gotta roll that D20. Oh, anyways, so a lot of the new sets that are coming out is what's affecting this right now. We're getting something that's pretty much unheard of in a lot of card games. Support every single month, and not just support every single month, but a special promotion every single month. So Vanguard can be picked up at any point within the next few months. So it's really easy to introduce a lot of new players to Card Fight Vanguard. We just got over the release of Set 5, which a lot of people went crazy and ham on. I don't understand why. But a lot of people went ham on it. Trial Deck Volume 7, Descendant of the Marine Empire, releases on April 19th after the March release of Comic Style Volume 1, which a lot of faithful players since the beginning have been waiting for ever since it was announced. It gives massive support to, not massive, it's an extra booster. It gives ridiculous support to some clans that need it, such as Murakumo. They start to see a lot of cards that make their clans really, really, really close to that anti-meta line. And after Comic Style, Descendants of the Marine Empire, our next big set, our real next set, is going to be Blue Storm Armada, which changed, I guess, in my opinion, the way that we're going to see card fight, because a lot of cards came out with unique abilities that we're starting to see implemented now, such as the Musketeer build. And what we're saying, how we're seeing a lot of those elements and mechanics brought from the Musketeers in the new Liberators and Berserkers that are coming out soon. Vanguard, I think, at this point in the game, Set 8 is where the game starts getting a lot more complicated, but in a good way. That drops on May the 3rd. That's Booster Pack Volume 8, Blue Storm Armada. After that, it happens. And that's when we get cross-ride crazy again. The Clash of Knights and Dragons. Yes, Volume 9 drops on June 28th. Can't wait for this one. This is like the iPhone 2. This changes everything, apparently. The new cross-rides introduce an insane power creep. Power gets through the roof, and you'll probably won't hear me after Set 9 to not run for null guards. More on that later. I don't want to ramble because we only have one more left. Matt, get excited, because guess what's coming out on July the 26th?
Is it an Aqua Force?
No.
Oh, is that? Oh, you're talking about the cross-ride stuff. That's that.
Set 9, but
that Bermuda.
Yeah, that Bermuda,
Yeah.
July 26th, the last announced release is Dazzling Divas. I think this is really good for the American market and for the American card fighters, because we just got about, I think it's maybe 8 months from this date of July the 26th, we had gotten extra booster with the Divas Diva Festival, which I believe, what was the original name for it, Matt?
It was Diva Festival in the original language. English was Banquet of Divas.
Yeah, it should have stayed
Diva Festival is Diva Festival is so much more hype.
And Dazzling Divas, which is the follow-up to Bermuda Triangle, will introduce their new them catching up to the rest of the other clans with a new cross ride for Pacifica
And a limit breaker.
And also, which is a limit breaker, and a second limit breaker, which is also keeping in touch with the new mechanics being introduced to the game by making things very specific by names and types of their own clan. I believe the new arc is called Prism. Yeah, Prism, with Prism inside of it. So Prishartum. I don't know. But those are all of the releases coming out, and you can find this link on the North American Cardfight Vanguard group on Google Plus tonight. So I'm going to post that right now.
You should.
I am. You take it
Just
over.
like I put. Alrighty. And then next up we have. Well, that was all the sets, man. You flew through that.
Yeah, and I even described them.
Yeah.
My ADD is working for me today.
Alrighty, then we have the topic where we actually want to try to get people in for
We
is
do.
we have the single elimination matches and we have the meta discussion.
We
And I
do.
think we want to try to get some people in for that. So
We do. We only have one
should we
person.
take a break here and like invite people and then come back, or what's up?
I don't think it's necessary to take a break. I mean, if we get people, we do. If we don't, we don't. We can always save the topic for another taping. Because I mean,
Alrighty.
this is alpha version 2, and this is going to be a big topic for a while. I won't lose any sleep over it. I'm pretty sure our one viewer won't either.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we can also touch on it ourselves and then call for people to, discuss it next week. That doesn't sound like a bad idea.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Okay, well, let's start with the single elimination. Bushido Road is making it completely official. English format to be played in single elim. Well, double elimination, but single games. So what does this do to our meta? It changes it to the power creeps won't always win now. It can come down to just pure skill and a deck just going off. Consistency is everything now. If you miss a cross ride, it can cost you the game at this point. Not all the clans have the ability to, superior ride. And I think we might start seeing a lot more superior rides coming in the new sets to make up for this from I'm going to complain about it. I don't think that there's enough mechanics in the game to warrant single games yet.
I see. I think it's fine, but that's because like I'm kind of somewhat used to that like style of playing things where it's just like one and done. I think it's fine like overall. Like I can understand what you're talking about, like where there's not enough going on yet, but I also feel that like if they want to keep things consistent, they can't just like suddenly, because then there's going to be even bigger resistance when they try to do that later.
Sure.
Like, so like it's better to just have it built in and just like this is just how it's going to be. If you don't like it, well then don't play tourneys, I guess.
Pretty much.
Play friendly matches.
I don't think it's going to discourage people from playing it. I really think it's just going to add a little bit of creativity that we see in the show, which they're clearly modeling Vanguard in real life off of. There is going to spark more creativity like we see in the show. And we actually had a discussion the other day where it's starting to become to the point of how much are you willing to spend on Vanguard. Vanguard is, to me, a fun game. It's a very fun game, and I get the satisfaction out of playing with a unique deck and it winning. Even when I lose with my unique deck, I can appreciate someone else's equally unique deck. But the meta fiasco from Japan of Tsukiyomi, The End, and MLB, and the fear of that happening to America, I don't think it's going to happen because of the price. Like, I don't think Americans are willing to pay that much to participate in this game when you can just pick up Magic and play Legacy. Or you can, dare I say it, play Yu-Gi-Oh! In some sense, but even Yu-Gi-Oh! Gets expensive. So will Vanguard become as expensive as Yu-Gi-Oh! Because, when Yu-Gi-Oh! Players are saying...
How much was that the end deck you were looking at the other day?
I was just putting together some of the key cards that I needed from my The End deck. $200 plus. Almost $300. It's personally not worth it to me. Like, I love The End. I wanted to play it ever since I first saw it come out and before it became the meta. And now, thanks to the meta, it's the price has gone completely up. And this is I think Bushido Road is also trying to combat with some of the newer cards with the power creep that we're seeing, especially in set 11 and set 10. You start to see a major power creep in the other clans that balance out against a lot of the meta techniques. But the value of a deck doesn't come from if it wins. It comes from, do I actually like this card game? Is it fun when I ever play this? And locally, we've noticed that Spectral Duke, which dominated Worlds, it's not played as much. It's seen as just a boring deck.
I haven't seen
Nobody
Like,
wants to play
I
the
haven't seen Spectral Duke at all.
yeah, like our team is the only team has only the only person in Orlando that plays Spectral Duke. It's actually really it's really interesting because here our meta is currently Narukami, and I think that comes from Narukami is cheaper than building like Gold Paladin.
Yeah, it is.
It is like a lot of the Narukami decks look the same, but it's still cheaper than building Gold Paladin. And the more we see budget like new budget decks, budget clans coming out with like really like competitive like
Also see a lot of beginners. Also see a lot of beginners here picking up Grand Blue because
yeah,
Grand Blue is hilariously cheap.
it is. You can build Grand Blue on a budget with ease.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like the fact of how our meta exists right now, the prices of cards is going to actually change the way that we play Vanguard in the States. You won't see a lot of people playing the meta decks because people will value their deck not as, okay, I'm just going to go out and win. Like everybody will still have their competitive meta deck, but more
Well,
people
it's like,
are going to get more pride out of playing a single elimination game with their personal deck than with a meta deck.
well, there's that, and then there's also like the more cynical reasoning of like it's kind of hard to establish a meta when like every month is a new set that like literally rearranges everything.
It really is. Like set 8 just throws so much support at Tachikaze and Eo Nectar that they didn't have before, and even Dimension Police gets crazy support. Like right now, those clans are nothing.
Because remember when like when Diva Festival first came out?
Huh?
Remember when Diva Festival first came out in like that brief week-long period where it was the meta here?
Yeah. That was actually really interesting.
That was bizarre. But yeah, go on with what you were saying. My bad for cutting you off.
Yeah, no worries. Oh, made me forget. Oh, but a note though. Our show is safe for work. However, I'm not counting shit as a curse word. I refuse. I'm not going to say it a lot, but I'm not counting it as a curse word. You can't make me.
Alrighty.
Now that we have that settled. I also find it interesting the dates of the big tournaments that are coming up. The regionals and the qualifiers, the shops, and the actual regional and nationals are all set across sets. So I wonder if they're like hoping to see a player go through all of the stages and not play the same deck. I think that would be really interesting because there's a lot of options for you to play decks that will win, but on your own skill. And it's been,
that's true.
It was proven in the Worlds that the English meta is either not there, or it's how the player defines it. It's like the skill of the actual player is the meta. And with how the big surprise of Grand Blue topping.
Yeah, that was shocking.
And the creation of Pale Moon becoming OP out of nowhere. Like it clicked for somebody, and they played Pale Moon and top, and went to, I believe that player who went all the way to Japan, right? Do you know?
No, I don't know. I'm not up on the tourney scene at the moment.
I'll see if I can find that. Should be under card list.
But yeah, it was like, either way, it was pretty fascinating. Like that, just like randomly, things just kind of happened. Like it was a lot of underdog clans coming out of nowhere and topping, and it shows that like you don't necessarily have to have like the strongest clan or most supported clan to top or to do well in this game. It's more about how you actually play your cards.
Very true.
Like, the strategy behind your deck build. Which is like something I've noticed about Vanguard a lot is like it's less situational and more of most of the game kind of happens when you're building your deck, and then everything else from there is just kind of whose deck build is more consistent.
Very true. Okay, so I'm having a hard time finding out where. If any of our viewers later knows the name of the card fighter who played Pale Moon and Top, please send it to us so we can give him credit where credit is due because he is pretty awesome. Same thing with the Grand Blue player. Let's reach out and see if we can get him on the show. Actually, you think we could do that?
Probably.
Yeah. That's we'll also work on trying to reach out to Brandon and see if we can get Brandon, the world champion of Vanguard, and see if we can get him on the show. That would be pretty big. I think a lot of people would be interested in seeing that.
I mean, it's just silly card games, so like they should be down.
Yeah, they should be down.
And then finally, we have like.
So, well, I guess yeah, we'll just end the meta discussion on that. That's our opinions of it. My rambling.
That's our opinions.
Our opinions, clearly, not the entire community's opinions. So we don't want to go make anybody really butthurt about what we're saying and go all like hero on us because that guy gets a lot of crap apparently, but he does say some
like,
pretty dumb stuff, in my opinion.
Like,
yeah.
So just
opinion.
yeah, and not my opinion either. I don't even know who this dude is, but yeah. So like, those of our opinions on the meta, as brief as they are, and like. Just kind of feel free to agree or disagree with us. Like, tell us why we're wrong. Tell me I'm stupid and, like, should go die in a fire because, like, I don't know, like, something... How is, like... Come on, obviously the meta is Spike Brothers. Like, feel free to say whatever you want. I'll be interested in hearing it.
We will, and we'll comment about it on our next episode. And just leave your comments. Your happiness, your anger, your death threats in this video, and we'll get back to you at the tone.
Your love, your hate, and all your sorrow.
Just all of that stuff. Right. Just not if you want to order a pizza. Nobody got time for that.
And then what else? Okay, so let's move on to the last thing: the general card fight stuff and anime series talk. Anime series talk, I'm leaving totally to you because I admittedly do not watch the Card Fight Vanguard anime. I have too many other children's cartoons to follow. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Regarding the anime, last night's episode, we finally got to see the fight between Aichi versus Mori. And Mori ends up playing Kai's deck. Well, he starts out with the newer Kagero Grade 0, I believe, right? Well, nobody else is here to check me on it, but I don't pull it up. Anyways, so that got a lot of people excited. Was he going to play the new Kagero stuff? Like, was this how they were going to show it? And if it's true, is he going to beat Aichi? Long story short, he lost to Aichi. The whole episode turned out to be a reflection of how far Aichi's come in Kai's eyes, which just adds the whole people that have the hots for Aichi list even bigger. We've got Kid with the bowl cut. We've got red-haired Fire Kid. We got Miyazaki. We got Kai. And we also have the Superstar. Here's the thing. That's 5 people, 4 of which are on Aichi's team. I am not going to be happy when the cliche summer and fireworks episode happens.
Also, her name is Misaki. You keep on calling her Miyazaki.
That's what she gets. She lost a majority of her matches in the second season. That is her name now.
Okay.
It's better that it isn't Miyazaki. Again, my opinions.
So mean. Why do you hate this character so much? Like, you just have like this unbridled hatred.
Because they based OTT. It feels like they based so much of OTT at the beginning off of her character. Did nobody need that at all? Nobody needed that. Okay, I understand. OTT was close to you because your parents died. Don't play a card game. See professional help. Card games are not the answers. Even if Aichi Sendo pushed you to that, no. Blaster Blade will not save you from the brink of mayhem. And the episode ended up with Morikawa losing, but the end just wrecked stuff. Aichi made it out because the end never got any triggers, so he just took the damage and then guarded the final attack and went on to his next turn, popped another Garmor, and swung for victory. With it was pretty OP power right there. Not Garmor, sorry, Gancelot. Or is it no? Not Gancelot, Gallatin. There we go. Sorry, I've just gotten home from work. And this is also the alpha test. We'll be a lot more organized on the next week.
Yeah.
A lot more organized.
I could probably edit this down too and like post it up again later.
Yes.
Like with just the audio and like actual picture, because I'm noticing the YouTube thing is just like a weird black screen of darkness.
It is. Or, I think we could pull it up. Let's see if I can find a screen share. Whatever, I'm too lazy. We'll do that for the next week's episode. But Vanguard this week, the anime episode, it was mail-worthy. Do you need to watch it? Not really. They do, however, introduce a brand new character. The club gets finally gets a faculty advisor. And here's a fun fact: the faculty advisor is modeled after the Bushiroad's CEO. So, could he be an antagonist? Could he be a protagonist? Does he have a bigger role in what the heck Link Joker actually means for the series? We don't know. Personally, my feelings with the anime is the second season got a lot better once they finally started throwing out more story. It got a lot better. Yes, the story ended up being a little bit cliche, but once they added more story and to match as many card fights as they had, it was good. What I didn't like is that they threw us an episode of just last time on Dragon Ball Z with the whole last match between Aichi and Leon. But in this season, I really feel that they should speed things up and get to the point of what the Link Joker is. Is it going to be the schools competing against each other? Could it possibly be the Void returning? Could it possibly be something else? Something that we have not seen yet in Vanguard. We were already teased dual clans with Blaster Blade Spirit and Blaster Dark Spirit. When will we see more? I believe Aqua Force also has their own it's also an Aqua Force, also an Stranger. It was one of the crossover cards that's only Japanese only. Get to the point, Bushido wrote with this show. But if you're on the Google Plus group, I will post a link to the new characters profile on the Cardfight Vanguard Wikia. And you can take a look at it. They don't really have that much information on him. He has a really long name that I'm not even going to bother saying, so I'm going to send the name to Matt, who is my Japanese guy, and we'll figure out how to say it. Here you go, Matt.
All right, are you posting this in chat?
I posted it to your Skype.
I'm not on Skype.
Where are you on Skype?
Well, then just give me 2 seconds.
Just open up the window, bro.
Elevator music time. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so his name is Nakamura Bashi.
Huh?
Like, is that just one word?
That's all one word.
Okay, so yeah, it's Nakamura Bashi.
There we go.
That's hella mouthful.
Not going to ever say that. Ever. He will be known as Naka.
Naka's a fine abbreviation of that. It's whatever.
Naka is completely fine. He could be Naka or Bashi. Which do you choose?
I'm gonna call him Nakabash.
Nakabashi.
Yeah.
You know what? At that point, we might as well just say Nakamura Bashi. Let's just stick to Naka and call it a day.
Okay.
Okay. Well, yeah. I'll post that to the Google Plus group. I guess we'll wrap up this episode. It's been nice. It's been real, everybody. Thank you for joining us on our very first stream.
Test run.
Be sure to check us out next week, same time, same place, 8 o'clock. And
Bermuda Triangle, the best.
Shut up, man. We'll pick up more on the topic of the meta when we have more people to join in and voice their opinions. Be sure to leave comments down in the comment field. And any words of wisdom, Matt?
Don't guard Vanguard attacks. Just let that shit happen and only guard rear guards.
I thought for a moment you were going to troll, but that was a pleasant surprise. Okay, guys, thank you for watching and listening to us.